How's it going, people? Simon Slabby here, and this is a little guide for Clockwork Syringe. So, let's get started then. Quest requirements: you need to have completed Rocking Out, you need 62 Construction, 50 Dungeoneering, 61 Slayer, 65 Summoning, 74 Smithing, 76 Defense, and 74 Thieving. And you'll also need to be able to kill the level 188 foe right at the very beginning, which can use melee and ranged, and it'll also lower your stats somewhat. So, items you actually need for this quest: you need a diving apparatus and fishbowl helmet, although you can collect those during the quest if you don't have them. If you already do have them, make sure you have them in your inventory. I'd also highly recommend an ectophial, 1 to 3 super restore pots. You'll want an anti-poison potion, house telly, just to get around that a little bit quicker, and obviously food. And I would recommend some melee gear for this. So first things first, use your house telly and go straight to your house. And if, like me, you appear inside your house, just pop outside and then click on the portal, then choose a Clockwork Syringe and you'll get a note: accept it. Now you want to read it and just accept the quest, and you'll find out there's a package in your house. So close that and click on the portal again. This time again click on a Clockwork Syringe. A warning message will come up, just say OK. And just go ahead and enter. So once you're here, you'll notice a big fuck off crate right next to the portal. Go ahead and click on it and inspect, and Barrelchest will pop out. So you can use protect from, melee or range against this bloke and just beat him in the face. Doesn't particularly matter which, but just kill him. He's pretty straightforward. I was using Turmoil and Soul Split in my initiate or proselyte, and I wasn't having any trouble at all. So, as you can see, it does destroy everything in the general area. Don't worry about it, it'll all get fixed now in a second, so don't go freaking out. So, eventually, this dude will drop sometime soon. God damn it. Thank you. So as soon as he's dead, you'll have a little black screen and an estate agent will pop up. So go ahead and talk to the estate agent. He should be somewhere near you, and he'll tell you he's repaired everything in your house. And as soon as he disappears, you then want to talk to the zombie head on a barrel. And now it's time to bully him. So you'll get a little interface coming up. You want to choose from left to right to start off with, and basically just keep repeating the right hand side one as soon as it's ready, and the far left one, and the shake head one as much as possible. The second and third one from the left, you want to press the second one before you press the third one, as it gains a bonus. I wouldn't bother using it other than that. I only actually used them once anyway, so if you did it right, this should take you like a minute for that. Once you've done it, go ahead and talk to the zombie head again, and he'll give you some information which we don't really care about. So you'll pick up the zombie head, and it's time to teleport to Port Phasmatis. So hopefully you brought along your ectophial. So finally, once you're here in Port Phasmatis, we need to go to the pub and talk to Bill Teach. So the pub is right in the centre, almost right next to the entrance as well. Bill Teach should be wandering around. Just go ahead and talk to him and talk about the clockwork. And he'll agree to help, and he'll ask us to meet him on his boat. So, head over to Bill Teach's boat. If you don't know which boat it is, it's the one that takes you to Mosler Harmless. If you still don't know what it is, well, that's what the video's here for. It's on the east side. It's the Far Eastern ship. And you want to board the boat, and you'll see build teach on there, just travel. And once you're on Mosler Harmless, we now need to head to the pub. Seems to be a common theme for pirates. We want to go to the northernmost pub, which is the small one compared to the other. And once you're in here, in the top right hand corner of this building, you'll see a chair you've got the option to sit on. Just go ahead and do that. And when the text option comes up, say the long drop. And he'll tell you to take a seat, so just click out on the chair again. And you'll be down here with Bill Teach. Go ahead and talk to Bill. And eventually he'll tell us to go to Braindeath Isle. And you'll also be given a scroll. But for now, put the zombie head on the table. And then go ahead and talk to Bill Teach again. And you'll have a little scene. And he'll agree to help. So you should now be given a scroll which has got a right click option to teleport back and forth between Mosler Harmless and Braindeath Isle. You get to keep this after the quest, but it only works while you're on one of the islands. So go ahead and right click on it and teleport to Braindeath Isle. You can't do it while you're in that cellar, unfortunately, so you'll have to go upstairs. But once you've teleported, you'll be right at the entrance. Just head directly west and talk to the captain. And talk about the Clockwork Syringe. And he'll offer to give you the item you want, but he wants us to find his friends first. So just agree to help him. And if you've forgotten your diving apparatus, you can actually ask for a diving apparatus from him now, and he'll give it to you. So go ahead and equip that, your fishbowl helmet and your diving apparatus, and head to the northwest corner of this island. Over to where 50% Luke is, or whatever his name is. And go ahead and sneak past him. And almost directly north of you, you'll notice a Dungeoneering Resource dungeon entrance of some kind. Right by there. So go ahead and enter. Inside you'll find level 91 melee crabs and level 65 rangers. It's up to you what protection prayers you want to use. Personally I was using protect from range as you run past most of them, but some of you may be getting beaten on with melee as they're the higher levels, so the idea is you want to head up the northwestern entrance, and right at the very end of this you'll find a dead zombie. You want to examine his body, and pretty much just keep your finger on space. You can quickly go through the chat option and talk to him again, and you'll notice that you'll say rest in peace, whatever their name is. As long as you've seen that, you know you've done it. But there's another two to find, and one is up the central northern path, and one is on the northeastern path, so pretty straightforward. There's only 3 places to go, and at the end of each is a dead zombie to check. So same deal, click on the dead zombie, keep your finger on space, and then click on him again just to make sure. And as you can see, rest in peace. And then move on to the next one. So for the last one, it's up in the northeast corner. It's exactly the same deal. Click on the zombie, keep your finger on space, and then click on him again just to make sure you've got his name. So, rest in peace Dave, or whatever it is. Once you've done all three of them, we can now exit, and we need to go and speak to Captain Braindeath again. A couple of ways you can do it. You can either run back exactly like I'm doing now, or you could use your ectofile, and then travel to Mos Harmless and or Braindeath Island and do it that way. Either way. So, to run back, it's exactly the same way you came. It's probably slightly quicker to use your ectofile and just go straight to Braindeath Isle. But I didn't think of it at the time, so... Again, pass over the barrier with 50% Luke. And head over to talk to Captain Braindeath. So, once you're here, go ahead and tell him that you found his friends. And eventually he'll give us the item we're looking for. He'll also make you take an oath, just agree. So once you've got all that, you want to right click on your scroll and teleport back to Mos Harmless. As we now need to go and talk to Bill Teach again. So back to the pub. And again with the chair, choose the long drop and sit down. So go ahead and talk to him. And you'll hand over the item and he'll pass it back to you. And now you want to open the box. Just say yes, 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 yes until it's open. And then talk to Bill Teach again. And whichever option you please. And just agree to go along with it. And he'll give you a bunch of choices, just choose wherever the hell you feel like, it doesn't really matter. And eventually you'll get a little cutscene. And the zombie will be horrified. Boom-boom-boom-ch. Go ahead, talk to Bill Teach. You'll have another long-ass conversation. And now it's time to leave. So, we now need to head over to the ship. Same place you came in, to Mossel Harmless. And we need to talk to Bill Teach here. So, cross the gangplank to get on board and then find wherever the hell he is. There he is. And go ahead and talk to him. And you'll then have a little cutscene. So go ahead and talk to him. And eventually he'll come under fire. So now we need to get on the island, but the boat can't get there. So we now have to make our way over there ourselves. Choose whatever option you want. So to do this, you need to head down the little ladders right next to you and down into the bottom of the boat. And once you're down here, we now need to collect 1 cannibal, 1 chain link, 3 gunpowder and a barrel. So to do that, just check the crates or boxes on the sides. The first one on the right gives you a cannibal. The one almost directly opposite it will give that'll give you a chain link. And then to the southwest, if you check it, you'll gain a barrel, and the gunpowder is right next to you. So once you've got all that, use your gunpowder on the chain link, and then use the anvil, and you'll attach the chain to the cannibal. Then use the chained cannibal with the barrel, and you'll finally create what you want. So make sure you've got 2 gunpowder left in your inventory at this point. And once you've got your cannonballed barrel and your 2 gunpowder, head on upstairs and go ahead and talk to the captain, Mr. Bill Teach, and tell him you've got everything needed. And whatever option you want. Then go back down the stairs and use the cannon. And yes. And you'll have another little cutscene. So you'll appear on the island, and just to the right of you is a big stone. Click on that. And if you remember from Rocking Out, we shot a bird out of an accordion, and this is exactly the same bird. So after a long little conversation with this kid, eventually you'll say something along the lines of, "I hope you feel sorry. Just choose 'I'm deeply sorry about what I did,' and he'll agree to help you."
Strafe run, ready for orders.
So you'll finally gain control of the bird, and it's time to bomb all the barrel chests. You'll have to drop the bombs a few squares before you actually reach the barrel chest, as it does take a while to drop, and the controls are a bit iffy, but it's pretty straightforward. You click an arrow, it'll go in that direction. You click the bomb, it'll drop the bomb. So once you've done it, go ahead and talk to the bird again. And now we need to dive off the pier just to the west. Agree to go back to the Adventurous. And go ahead and talk to Bill Teach again. So he'll agree to board, and you'll approach the island. So once you're on the island, just head directly east, and go inside this building right in front of you. And on the right hand side of the entrance of this building will be a bunch of supplies we need to pick up. So you need a few inventory spaces for this. You'll want the Medipack. You'll also want a barrel. And where is it? You'll also want the Barrelchest barrel, or pieces. And just to the right of you, you'll also want a surgical mask. So you should have the surgical mask, the Medipack, the barrel, and a Barrelchest piece. And as soon as you've got that, just run directly north and you'll be tranquilized by one of the doctors and chucked in prison. Simply open the door and run west, same way we entered this place, and reboard the Adventurous. So once you tell him that you've run into trouble, and you'll come up with a cunning plan. He'll ask for all those items I just told you to pick up, and hopefully you brought them with you. If you did, then just talk to him and tell him you've got them. And he'll make a Barrelchest disguise for you. So, go ahead and talk to him again, and go back to the island. And in that same room before, we now need to pick up 3 gunpowder and 3 barrels. And you want to use your gunpowder on the barrels to make barrels full of gunpowder. Pretty straightforward, eh? So once you've got 3 barrels full of gunpowder and your Barrelchest disguise, we're ready to go in. So move towards the centre of the room and put on your Barrelchest disguise. You do need some room for this. And once you become a Barrelchest, just head north. And this time you won't be tranquilized because we're in a disguise. So the first one we want to hit is the southeast room, which is this one right by here. Go ahead and talk to the NPC right by here. And he'll ask you to put barrels down. So, just click on the bodies and you'll put the gunpowder barrels down. And once you put all 3 of them down, click on the barrel again to explode it, or detonate it, I should say. Fucking hell, fail English here. And you'll create a chain reaction and kill the NPC. In the same room on the right hand side is a notice board, check that and you'll find some evidence. So next you want to head to the room directly north of you. And you want to undo the straps on each of the arms. Which you'll do so sneakily, you'll just smack it with your barrel, or barrel anchor cannon, whatever the fuck it is. So much for a covert operation. And as soon as you've done all 3, you'll then get a little cutscene and you'll leave the room. And eventually you'll gain control again. And same thing as before, in this room on the southern wall is another notice board. Check that and get some more evidence. So from here we want to head to the southwestern room. And then here in the very southern side of the room is some canisters. Go ahead and hit them. And then you want to talk to each of the NPCs. And once you've talked to all three of them, go ahead and kill all three of them. And again, check the notice board, it's on the east side of this room. And we'll now head to the room directly opposite to the north. If you happen to get attacked by one of the doctors from the west, don't worry, just go ahead and kill him. May take a little while. But as soon as he's dead, you then want to check one of the NPCs strapped to the chair in here, doesn't matter which one. And as soon as you've done that, investigate the notice board on the south side of this room, and you'll gain the fourth piece of evidence. Now we need to head into the western room, and we need to kill those two doctors, or NPCs, enemies, whatever you want to call them. If you happen to be attacked by two at a time, right click on one of them and choose cannon, and you'll stun them, and carry on fighting whichever one you start fighting first. If the stun wears off on the second NPC, just go ahead and re-cannon him to keep him stunned. That way you'll only be fighting one at a time instead of two. So, finally, you'll get to the last one and hopefully kill him rather quickly. And as you can see, the notice board is on the east side of this room. We'll be checking that after we've killed them. Like that. So check this last notice board and you now have 5 pieces of evidence. So once you've got all 5 pieces of evidence, we now need to head back to the adventurers. So head towards the exit, and go ahead and take off your disguise. And head back to the adventurers. So once you're back on board, go ahead and talk to Bill Teach. You'll hand him the evidence, and he'll give you a couple of barrels of explosives. Head back to the island again, and we're going to go in the last room we didn't bother going in. So head on over, and this time you don't need to worry about switching to Barrelchest mode or anything. Just run straight in, and we want to go to the far east room this time, the one we didn't go in last time, with the conveyor belts. So to start this off, you want to use the lever at the bottom of the room, or south side of the room, and then you'll be shown this little picture. You just want to keep laying barrels on any one of them until it blows up, and then move on to the next one. 3 explosive barrels should blow up the conveyor belt. So you can move on to the next one. You can see the middle one stop working. And then again just move on to the next, until eventually you break all 3 of them. So eventually you'll destroy them all and the wall will blow up. So you can now jump over the little wall. So once you've jumped over, you then want to head east across the pier. And head down the ladders at the end. And you'll have another little cutscene. And it's time for some naval warfare. So 2 zombies will piss off in their submarine boats, whatever you want to call them. And there'll be 1 left conveniently. So go ahead and jump in it. The basic tactic for this is if you can click on repair, then repair. Anything else, just keep firing. You don't have to click fire to actually fire at them, you can just click on the boats themselves. Just make sure you keep clicking repair whenever you can. And you should easily stay alive and wipe everyone else out. As you can see, I fucked up my first turn. For the second one, I kept on pressing repair. And it was pretty straightforward. There's 5 enemies to kill. Shouldn't take you too long. The most annoying part is them moving out of the screen and you've got to chase them down. But you should probably do on your first or second turn. Or try. And it should take about 5 minutes. But once you've completed it, you'll have another little cutscene and you'll appear back on the Adventurous. So, as you can probably guess, go ahead and talk to Bill Teach again. And he'll take you back to Mossel Harmless. Once you're back here, you want to head to the pub again. And while we're at it, you may as well give yourself a pat on the back, as it's pretty much quest complete. All you need to do is sit on the chair again, and choose the long drop. And talk to Bill Teach and his quest complete. Happy days. So, upon completing this, you'll gain 1 quest point, 19k defense XP, 18k smithing and thieving XP, 15k summoning, 11.25k construction XP, 11k slayer, 5k dungeoneering. You'll also gain access to the Braindeath Isle Rumjun, also known as Resource Dungeon, which is kind of shite. Unless you want to farm the 1 sword you can get in there, can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's not exactly anything special. But you also get to keep that pirate spell sheet, the one that'll teleport you between Braindeath Isle and Mossel Harmless. Which is kind of handy, I guess. Well, it's worth having anyway. Extra teleports is always a good thing. Other than that, that's about it for this quest. So, I hope you all enjoyed. And hopefully you get this done. Now that I've got 300 quest points, I think I'll make a little video about the Helmet of Trials and how to get it. And what it does. So until then, I'll catch you later. Enjoy.